Alrighty. What is up, guys? Can you hear me? I believe you can. Although, okay, I can hear the video. All right. I think it's set up. Let me go ahead and start this video. So, if you guys do not know, or if you guys are unaware, right now I'm gonna be reacting to Israel Adesanya's first interview since losing to Sean Strickland at UFC 293. As some of you know, he didn't give any comments after the fight. He was a big favorite against Sean Strickland in his fight, and there were so many reasons that people were coming up. So many speculations as to why he performed the way he did, and as to why he lost to Sean Strickland. Some believe it's just skill-based. Some believing that he had injuries. Some believing that his head wasn't. I want to hear it firsthand from his mouth. This is his first comment since UFC 293. So what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in and always supporting the channel. Is there an echo? There's an echo. Okay. Let me figure this out. I got you. Let's go ahead and mute that. How did that work? Is that better? Or can you now not hear me? Making sure that sound is still working. Let me know if that made that echo better. Hopefully it did. And once I get confirmation, I'll go ahead and start watching this interview. If you are watching this after the fact, you can go ahead and skip to when I am watching the video, although I don't think it'll be very long. Okay, I got confirmation. Let's get into it. So if you couldn't hear me before, there was a lot of reasons why people speculated that Izzy lost to Sean Strickland. He's breaking his silence now on his channel. He did an interview via David Adesanya, I believe his brother, and yeah, he's gonna get into it. So I just wanted to watch this with you guys for the first time, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts as I break down my thoughts watching this thing. So thank you guys for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Is the realest Robin D. Brush can engage IND.
Let me know if this is good for audio.
David Adesanya, your uncrowned 145-pound champion, here with former two-time UFC middleweight champion Israel, the last starbender Adesanya. You heard me say that.
Yeah.
I was like, so at a funeral. I swear, I was like, that was a eulogy. That was a dagger to my own heart.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, why you say it like that? What you mean by that?
That was emotional damage.
Emotional. Yeah.
Before they even start talking, I just want to say that puts a smile on my face to see him this happy afterwards. Because some people get down after things like these. So
Breathe. Why are you sweating?
I don't know, nigga.
Jesus Christ. He's actually sweating.
He's back. We back.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Now we here.
We here. We are 1 week removed from the fight. How are you feeling?
Feeling. How am I feeling? About the fight itself.
Everything. Break it down however you want to break it down.
How am I feeling? I'll put it the bet. Quietly confident, and that's after watching the fight. I was like, oh yeah, I see.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You watched the fight back. Have you only seen it the one time, or have you gone back to watch it again?
No, just once. I watched it.
And that was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
What was the experience like even watching it?
Watching it, I was just like, oh, okay, you just gotta fucking pull this back. You've seen me, even if I've had fights that I won, but I wasn't really satisfied. I was just like, I don't want to watch that shit. you know. But I just watch it anyway just so I can learn from it. And yeah, this is no different. I wasn't happy with the performance, so I was like, ugh, don't want to watch this, but I have to watch it just so I can learn from it. As soon as I watched it, and it's the same reaction every time, I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like I say, even the fights that I've won, and I'm like, oh, it probably looked shit. You know, it wasn't as da-da-da-da, and I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, that wasn't that bad. So this was the same thing. I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. So I was just like, the way I felt in there was different than how it looked.
How did you feel in there?
How did I feel in there? Like a bad dream. Like, you know, one of those dreams where you...
Lucid nightmare or something?
Like, just like, not even a nightmare. Like, nightmare is like, oh shit, fuck.
That's what I feel like.
Bad dream.
I was projecting.
Not, well, I like where it's like, you know, you're scared. But this is like, oh, just like, that's just not, like, you try and hit the guy and it just feels like noodle arms. Like, just like, the fuck? Like, it's not. So yeah, that just felt like a bad dream. But, yeah, feeling it and watching it completely different. They called Eugene right afterwards and we talked to him. Same thing. We're quietly confident.
While you were in there, did the fight go fast or did it go slow?
So, right away, this is kind of a little bit what I expected. I kind of expected that it's just an off night, man. That it's just, it's one of those things to where you can't perform every single time you step out there. You know, people expect that of you, and a lot of the greats do, and that's why they're so great. And people start defining, and it gets to the point to where when people start defining people by their losses, that's what pisses me off, and that's what hurts, you know. But you look at all his highest moments, and you look at everyone's highest moments when John Jones was winning, not when he was running into pregnant lady, when Israel Adesanya was winning, not when he had a very shitty performance against Sean Strickland. Of course, losses and wins both are counted into legacy, but that's how I kind of like to look at things, right? But right away, yeah, that's what it looked like. The same way he spoke about how he felt, that's what it looked like.
Oh, how did it feel?
Surprisingly fast. Surprisingly, I didn't even know it was the last round. I was like, is this the last round? Because that's the last round. I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, like, vámonos. Like, you need to do something. So, but yeah, it's just the way I felt in that fight wasn't. Yeah, it was just yeah. But again, it's just also the way he worked. He just never let me get into my rhythm at all.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, what are some of the things that he and his coaches did well? Because they were pretty.
Respect.
They were pretty upfront. Everyone knew what their game plan was. Mm-hmm. The game plan was going to be full pressure, cut you off. And he said he was willing to give one to take one.
Yeah, but just wasn't able to like just get my rhythm because of his pressure. He was right there constantly, and whenever I was setting him up, because he's right there, then his coach would help him, and I'd be like, fuck. And yeah, it was just good game plan from there, and also for me, I wasn't able to adjust on the fly. And I'm gonna break that down another time, but nah, it was his night. It was his night. Yeah.
Man, that is almost just a perfect example of why it's hard for counter-strikers to fight a good pressure fighter. Ultimately, to win fights, you want to be coming forward, right? But some people can get away with moving backward and counter-fighting and counter-striking the whole time, like Izzy's done for so long. But then there gets to a point to where if someone is pressuring you, but they're also beating you at adjusting and making those adjustments for your counterattacks, the fight is lost. And yeah, you can get locked up in the mode of, okay, I'm looking for this counter, and you're not even throwing it. You end up just watching them, and while you're trying to snake charm them and set them up for something, you're actually just falling behind on the scorecards. And Sean Strickland, as you know, he's going to have his output. He's going to have that pressure. He's going to be up on the judges' scorecards for the most part. And Izzy does too, but he does that when people kind of are at bay, not when they're constantly coming in. When they're coming in, he's looking to hit them with something that's going to make them respect him and back up, or that's going to end up putting them out. And that's kind of what he's looking for. He just got caught, I guess, looking too much. He has to get that rematch ASAP. I was mad when he lost. Yeah, man. I don't know if I was even mad when he lost. I think I was just more disappointed. I was kind of just disappointed, and I was also frustrated just because I knew here comes all the shit talkers. Here they come. Here they come. When a champ loses, God forbid, someone like even Islam Makhachev loses, right? He just had that very close fight with Volk. Imagine if he loses that next fight. They're gonna say, "Oh, that Oliveira fight, the first one was a fluke. Oh, he lost anyway. He's 0-2 in his last two because of the Volk fight." And that's gonna be a big chunk of why people remember him rather than him running through 8 to 10 people before even getting to the title, right? Anyways, let's continue.
And yeah, he got it done. I made another dream come true.
Talk about how good his defense was, because at some stage during the fight you mentioned that you couldn't find your jab.
Yeah, even like I said it before the fight. I think his guard is like just real unique and unorthodox. So I was able to find this. I wasn't able to find my jab, and I'm able to find my jab. I can find the chin. I'm very confident in that. But yeah, it was just his guard was just good. It was good defense and good offense. Well-rounded game.
Let's talk about the first round. He rocked you and dropped you with a right straight. What was your own initial reaction to that like? Because we saw, people's reactions on the internet. Rogan almost had a heart attack. Like, Rogan's eyes almost popped out of his head. Like, couldn't be.
Honestly,
I almost shit my pants when he got dropped. My heart sunk to the bottom of my ball sack. God damn, that wasn't cool. And then I was frustrated even more because I saw him smiling because it's like, damn, he got me, and I knew that he was falling behind. But
I haven't seen many of them yet. But yeah, mine was like, this nigga just dropped me, and I was kind of like laughing a little bit. And at one point, I looked at Mark Gordon and find the clip and frame, and I was just like, okay. But I was just like, and then right afterwards, we disengaged, and I feel like, right, I'm clear, I'm lucid, back on the attack. And then it was 5 seconds or something left, so then I went back to my corner. But I remember I was
What did Eugene say?
I was out of position. Like, I was out of position, and I tried to use a lead hook counter, but he just pop, the rhythm. That's not what Eugene said, but like Eugene just pretty much said I was out of position. When I look back at it now, it's just his timing. The 1-2 was offbeat, pop, and it just got me in between.
Right, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I didn't really think it was as much of him being out of position as it was Sean just throwing that 1-2 like Nate Diaz style, but like inside of the lead hook. That's a dangerous one. And that's one that works a lot against people who are gonna be check hooking the whole time, like a Ryan Garcia type, right?
And the rhythm, it was good. It was a nice shot, clean. And the barrage as well, I was like, oh shit, he's pouring it on. I was like, he's really punching me. I'm okay, ref.
See, bro, and this is what I was scared of, man. I think he fucking underestimated him. He underestimated him. The fans did, and so did is fucking unfortunate. Unfortunately so.
I was like, this motherfucker's punching me. Like, yeah.
You recovered well. You came back in the second round, and you won the second round. You didn't look like,
Yeah, I don't like to brag about, oh, go to chin. Like, stupid thing to brag about. But no, I know how to recover well from certain shots. I am human, so yeah. But yeah, it was just well-timed shot, nicely executed. It's cool.
Nice. You came back. Second round was good. Like I said, you looked clear. You won the second round. And then talk to me through what's going on as the third round starts, and he's still frustrating you. He's still, disrupting your rhythm. You can't land. He's what's going through your mind as you feel the fight slipping away from you?
As I feel the fight slipping away, I wasn't even scoring the fight, but I just knew, like, nigga, you're losing the fight. But in there, it was just like I said, it was just. Felt like I just felt like my arms were just like noodles.
How did you feel warming up in the back?
Felt better. I felt better in the back when I'm just like, fuck, I'm sharp. But yeah, I don't know. Just in there, just felt like a bad dream. And just my arms were just noodles, like weren't had.
Part of that feeling is actually might be what you see in this picture. How Sean Strickland kind of uses those frames and almost like kung fu blocks, but he doesn't really overextend too much, but he uses them very well to cover his face. And it's like, even though you're landing like on the arms and nothing is ever clean. And that is frustrating. That is extremely frustrating. And it is effective. It is an effective way to block. People think he was using the Philly shell the whole time. It wasn't really the Philly shell. He was mixing this high guard in with it, which is actually a little bit more of a Muay Thai style technique. Yeah. Kung Fu blocks, Muay Thai style high guard, mixed in with a little bit of the Philly shell as well. Yeah.
No snap. I had no, like, and it just felt weird. At one point, it was just like, I knew, I gotta finish this guy. Oh, and I tried, set him up a couple times. You know, he defended well, corner helped him out, guiding him well. And then I just try and find something and don't get caught. Especially in the last round, I was like, make sure, don't get caught. So I don't like fighting like that. I like fighting to win and not to just, not on the defensive primarily. Yeah, I like to be offensive in certain situations, like in the last round. Okay, we gotta go. But I just couldn't go.
What were your coaches telling you in between rounds as the fight was playing out? Because Eugene said there was a bit of a disconnect with what they were seeing and trying to communicate that to you. And
maybe I wasn't tapped in. Maybe I just, like, sometimes just lag, a little bit of lag. Because even after he told me what he meant, and I was like, he wanted me to, we talked about that, and I was like, okay, bet, that's what he meant. Like, just a little bit of a lag between communications, I think, yeah.
Is that like also you not being as locked in mentally going into that fight? Because the comparison from 287 to 293 is like...
Someone said something to me. I think it was AB. AB said as soon as the opponent switched, he said like almost instantly, I was like, I went from, with Dricus, I went like, I'm gonna fucking kill this dude. Like I had this thing about me. He said like when the opponent switched, he just noticed, I was like, okay, I'm gonna whoop this dude. Like, going from, I'm gonna murder this motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, to, oh yeah, I'm gonna whoop this dude. So that's something AB just happened to mention. I found that interesting. Then I was like, yeah, I did notice that, I guess.
How much pressure did you even feel going into that fight during fight week?
Yeah, I put all the pressure on myself, because in my head I was like, I have to beat this guy. No matter what, I have to beat this guy. So I put pressure on myself. There's the outside pressure, but the pressure you put on yourself as well. But yeah, I put pressure on myself, but I'm still kind of like dissecting it. So yeah, I put pressure on myself, but I just didn't have that venom. I think that venom, I didn't. Yeah, interesting. All right.
I thought you'd get the venom from the trash talk and everything that.
Yeah, like, I mean, definitely some of the stuff. Hell, it's not over. The story's still being written, but like.
Goddamn right. It sure is being written. Believe that.
I talked to you about certain things as well, and then we know exactly what to do. Yeah, we know exactly what to do leading on to the next one.
Before the fight, we sat here and we talked about how, in some alternate universe, in some different timelines, Strickland wins the fight. And it was, our job to make sure that...
So on this timeline.
That didn't happen. When it was all said and done, and they announced and knew, and, everything played out, what were those, initial emotions like?
Every time after a fight, no matter when you win or lose, you just feel a sense of relief, like, oh, well. So there's no relief of anything, but just like, oh, well, made it out. That one, the camp,
okay.
Everything, healthy, fine. So that's the main thing, being healthy, being fine from the camp. And there, even though there's all these little things that happen during the camp, but like overall healthy, wealthy, And yeah. Initially, I was just like, oh, good job. First thing I said to him, because he starts crying, I'm like, hey, stop crying like a bitch. He starts laughing, I'm like, hey. And then we talked about, other stuff. I was like, don't bring my family into this. And he's like, I'm sorry. And changed his tune at the post-fight though. It's weird. I was like when we have like a real moment and it's genuine, it's like, oh yeah.
He's a politician.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, I guess he has to keep up appearances. But I just find it weird how you have a real moment and then like, it's all good. Keep it real.
You still went to the after party, you know, you still, had fun, took photos of fans.
I was wondering how he was going to react to Strickland still sticking to all that dog stuff and whatnot. Yeah, it seemed like they had a kind of genuine moment in the cage and kind of switched up afterwards. So glad he spoke about that.
It was one, so it's still an accomplishment. Even if we're all, doesn't matter, what we've done, we still have to celebrate because look where we come from, how far we've come. And to be able to even do that, Sydney, 6 fighters from CKB, with a new signee, go in there and do what we did is to precedence. So we have to celebrate no matter what, even the small wins. So
and plus there's a lot of work that goes into it, and everything. Let's talk about the boys actually. I'll interview them as well. Kevin starting the night off.
Fuck, banger. Banger. Kevin just went in there and just kicked the door in and said everybody on the fucking ground.
Set, right? That's his last name.
It's him. It's just it's just good to see because we all know how good Kevin is. So the fact that he went in and did the way he did, and just at the mic starts calling out Ian Gary already, calling out whoever else, going at everyone. But that's Kevin. I know how good he is. So it's a good job. He kicked the night off well for the boys. And let me see. I don't want to go too much into Diamond and Chain because Sal subjects. I don't want to go too much into that.
It's highest of highs, lowest of lows.
That's the game.
Especially when you're part of the team. 3 wins, three losses.
That's right.
Talk about Carlos.
We're gonna go ahead.
A loss.
What a performance.
I want to go ahead and skip to after him talking about his teammates. Yeah, I know he's gonna say good things about them, as he always does. I want to hear more about him though.
That was cool.
Talk to me about your first post-fight shower.
My first post-fight shower was after the after party, after all the noise.
You didn't shower before the after party?
Nah.
Mans was in there dirty.
It's a little moist, but still.
Dirty man, Izzy. Dirty man.
Yeah, it was just. There's not much I can say to you guys, but it was one of those ones where I made some tough calls. I was like, yeah, right. Because then I was like, you're alone and you get to have that real conversation. So I was like, right, this is what I have to do now. So I know what I have to do. And it was just, it didn't take long to be honest. I already knew it, but then it was good to just face myself and just yep, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do that. And I'm like, all right, bet. And yeah.
Dana said you looked slow and flat in there. A lot of people, the general consensus was that's not Israel the last time that Adesanya that they saw at 293. Your last 3 fights, UFC 281, 287, 293. That's 3 title fights in the last 10 months. Everyone praises you for being an active champion. I'm pretty sure you are the most active
3
champion.
Fights really?
10 months, yeah. Well, it was April? No. November. December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September.
August,
September, okay, 11 months.
11 months, still. Yeah.
But I think that makes you, the number of title fights that you've had, including those ones, I think that makes you the most active champion in UFC history.
I don't know, we'll see. But
how much, I'm pretty sure you are. How much of a toll does it take on you physically and mentally? Going in there, back-to-back camps.
It does.
Yeah, I this is something I wanted to hear because I felt like those 2 emotional Pereira wins kind of took away from his performance in this one.
Yeah, it takes a toll, but again, like I said, I'm human. I understand what I have to do to get back to who I am. And you know what's funny as well?
Well,
It's been a little bit like, you know, they chirp, they delight my demise and whatnot. But it's funny how they all say, like, if I face that version of Israel, if I face that version of Israel, it'd be this, it'd be that. Oh, I'll kill him in 2 rounds. I'll do this. If that version of Israel shows up to fight me, that version of Israel, that version of Israel. I'm like,
I mean, it's in line with the consensus.
I don't know,
People,
but like, it's funny how like my, you know, opponents and stuff would like to say, oh, that version of Israel. If that version of Israel, I'm like, well, you understand who I am then, which is good.
yeah, exactly.
You understand who I am, so yeah. I just find that funny. Even me, like this, you know me, after the period fight, what did I take, like 2 weeks before I even said anything? I like to take my time with things. I process things. Win or lose, I take my time. That Pereira one was fucking huge, so I had to like take my time and just go through everything, process everything, and just, yeah. I'm good with time, I'm good with patience. So that's why even now it's taken so long before I've done this interview, just to like take my time, go through my own emotions and process everything.
Looking back, how was your training camp leading up into this fight? And are there some things that you could have done differently?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I had some conversations with myself. I'm gonna actually like, just little things. Like, for example, I'm gonna start having breakfast before I train. Like little things like that. I'm like, okay, at this level, you have to, even though I, you know, the camps, they get better and better, more dialed in with things I do. But then now I'm like, okay, bet, we've had this result, so what else can I do to change, to better myself? Certain things I want to do, and yeah.
With everything we talked about, you being active and whatnot, when do you think people will see you back in the octagon?
We'll see.
Do you care who holds the belt?
No. The belt's never mattered to me. Like, I mean, it does obviously, but like, how many times have I said, it's just a fancy tiara that brings more money and this and that, rah. But I've gone to the level now that the belt's just a nice accessory. I already got belts. I got many belts. I'm just gonna do it again, just for fun. You know.
And the last thing, is there anything that you want to say to your fans and support?
3-time. Yeah, no more 2-time. 3-time. People gonna be so salty when he does it too.
What is the real ones?
The real ones. Stick with me, kid. To be honest, no, like I said, those who know me and appreciate me, thank you. Thanks for sticking by me. Thanks for, yeah, just thank you. Because without you guys, I won't be able to do what I do. Without you guys, like the real ones I'm talking about, like, you know who you are. The ones that are solid, the ones that take inspiration from my stories and my triumph. Even in my losses, they've taken inspiration from my life story. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And again, patience. Practice patience with me. Don't react, respond. Take your time. Let me cook. But yeah. Just thank you. That's one thing I can say is thank you, because, you know, in these times, like, bro, last time I lost, what happened? I said they still call me champ. Nothing changed. Won the belt again. They call me champ. Nothing changed. I lost again. They still call me champ. Nothing changes. I'm Israel Adesanya. You're Israel Adesanya. You know me. You know my story. So thank you. Thank you for supporting me, and keep supporting me. If you want to hop off, feel free to. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Appreciate you. But yeah, just stick with me, practice patience, and wait for the response.
I appreciate your time.
You know who it is, the realest.
Gang. Alright, well, that concludes the video. As far as any final thoughts that I have about that, what time are we at? Okay.  'Cause, yeah, as far as lingering thoughts, I don't know. 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 I we're definitely gonna be back. We're gonna be back on this train. We're gonna be back on the horse. It's gonna be 3-time champ. We all know it. Who's gonna get the belt? At the end of the day, who is gonna have the belt when he is ready to come back? I already said, if you guys watched my recap, appreciate you, Dubs. Appreciate that. But I already said in my recap that I believe he should take a break. Like, he wasn't even realizing, if you could tell, he wasn't even realizing how frequently he was fighting. Maybe he was just trying to be humble about it, but that takes a toll. Not just physically, yes, your body's getting beaten up in camps, but emotionally and mentally, it's draining. Man, 3 fights, not just fights, but at the absolute top of the sport in the UFC, where you're having to do all this media. Then you go from this guy who beat you to getting a rematch against him, knocking out Alex Pereira, feeling like you're on top of the world, best celebration of all time. And then you get this DDP guy, whom was, it was an Africa thing, so it was more personal. And he was fired up for it. And then the last minute switch to Sean Strickland. And you could tell that nobody, it wasn't just him, but nobody was kind of excited for it. Everyone thought, oh, the press conference is gonna be good, but the fight, right? Isn't that what everyone was saying? Even I was saying it jokingly. I still knew that there was worries and doubts and stuff like that, but I was kind of happy that everyone's back on the Izzy train for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because those Pereira fights were a little rough, but yeah, I think that at the end of the day, whether Sean Strickland decides to fight Cannonier or DDP, which I think he could fight either, that whoever has the belt is gonna get it. DDP, I already thought that he's going to be a tough fight as well. He brings that pressure as well. He has longer arms than Strickland. Different style, more hittable, more explosive in his pressure, and I'll break that down later if the fight gets set. But Sean Strickland, that's just going to be a rematch. He knows he's going to need more snap and venom on his punches. He'll probably be doing a lot more boxing than kickboxing for that fight. Side kicks up the middle and clinch work would have been great to offset that pressure and to damage the body so that Sean stops coming in as much. I was even saying that during the fight, but I'm sure he realizes it after the fight. Elbows as well. And then finally, Jared Cannonier, who I think does deserve a title shot, especially after beating the brakes off of who'd he just beat? He beat Sean Strickland, and he beat Marvin Vettori. He beat the brakes off Marvin Vettori. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think Jared, honestly, him or DDP deserve this Sean Strickland match. So I'm curious to see who he's gonna fight. Sean is. I know if he wants to fight early in 2024. Probably around January or February. That's what he was saying on his Instagram. So yeah, who do y'all think it's gonna be? Do y'all think it's gonna be Jared Cannonier? Do y'all think it's gonna be DDP who fights Sean Strickland? Or do y'all think Izzy's gonna come back? I think Izzy should take about like 6 months, just regroup, start loving it again, start missing it again. Honestly, I say take 2-3 weeks off of training in those 6 months, just to really, enjoy yourself, but then get bored. Get bored of living free. Get bored of not having discipline. Sometimes you need that. It's like a mental reset. You get bored, and then it's like, damn, I want to come back. Now I'm itching to come back. Knuckles itchy. My muscles are itchy. I'm a little fat. Get into shape. Get this 8 to 10 week camp going, and let's get back in there. That's what I want to see from him. Does he care? Not really. Probably gonna take around 6 months. The way he didn't want to tell us when he was gonna fight next. That's good. I'm happy to see that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I appreciate all of you who tuned into the stream. I'm gonna be trying to do more of these, so I appreciate every time y'all can stop by. I like doing these. I like hearing y'all's thoughts. I like responding to you while just watching MMA world videos and talking about them, and this is gonna be good. This is good. So appreciate y'all stopping by to Nwadei MMA. I'm gonna go ahead and respond to this real quick. It's going to be tough not seeing him fight for a title next time out. But when he gets that shit for the third time, it's going to be sweet. They love hating on him, so it'll feel damn good. Facts. Absolute facts. I don't think he's not going to fight it for a title next. I mean, if you want to have a history on how these things kind of work with past champions and who should get a rematch and who shouldn't, everyone's complaining about him getting a rematch because they've seen him fight for the title so many times. They feel like it's redundant. They feel like it's going to be a boring fight or whatever the case may be. That's why people are reluctant to see it again. At the end of the day, this man is greater in the sport of MMA. Maybe not than Mike Tyson, but he's on that level. He's on that level compared to Mike Tyson in boxing. Mike Tyson, if he's coming back to a title fight. Muhammad Ali, if he's coming back to a title fight. One loss, and you're going to fight someone else. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, he just lost to Pereira. Pereira moved up. It's not like he's fighting Pereira again. He beat everyone else in the division. Who's he going to fight if it's not for a belt? Think about that. Who's he going to fight if it's not for a belt? They're going to match him up against fucking Hamzat Chimaev with a win over Paulo Costa. I don't even know if that fight's happening. My point exactly. But guys, thank you for tuning in. That's all she wrote for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I appreciate y'all stopping by. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.